Bryson hit me up and said, which teams that realistically could make the playoff would shock people the most this year? So we're not talking about food. This is no time to talk about rice. We're talking about teams that somewhere in 1,000 simulations of the season could make the playoff a few times, but it would be shocking. Texas A&M's that team, at least one of those teams. I want to make sure everyone needs to pause right now. I do too, because I just stumbled over my words. Everyone needs to hear what I'm saying very loudly. This is not a prediction segment. I am, as of this moment, not predicting any of these four teams to go to the playoff. I'm saying there is a chance, there's a non-zero chance that this could happen, and you would be stunned by it. Texas A&M, how about this? How about this for a stat of the evening? Texas A&M, 26 of the top 100 all-time recruits they've landed are on the roster right now. A quarter of their top 100 all-time recruits are on their roster currently, and that's after a lot of them defected. That's after a lot of them got kicked off the team. 5 of their top 10 rated all-time recruits are on the roster right now. All I'm trying to tell you is they got good players, or at least they got talented players. And all I'm trying to tell you is Connor Wegman is, I think, paired with a lot better offensive coordinator situation than he has been at any point in really any quarterback's tenure there in recent memory. So what is the net result? The net result is they missed a bowl game last year, and yet there is still enough talent on this roster that if it is put in the proper position and execution is at a high enough level, that team is capable of doing that. Non-zero chance. That's what we call it. So if you check your weather app and it says 10% chance of rain, it probably gives you a little sunshine icon. Doesn't even put the raindrops on there. Likewise, I'm not putting a CFP logo next to A&M's name, but there is the slightest of chances that if everything falls into place, then who knows? It would be shocking, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible for Penn State to make it. In fact, Penn State has got the third best odds to win the national title out of Big Ten teams. Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, in that order, by the way. It ain't Michigan at number 1. Profit off that accordingly. But they've got 6 offensive linemen coming back with at least 5 games starting experience. That's number 1 for Penn State. Number 2, got a really good running back duo. Producer Jesse thinks maybe the best in the country. Michigan fans always torch me when I say that, so I make sure to blame it on Producer Jesse. It is Drew Aller time. One of my premier lines on the last show was, if he does anything short of turning water into White Claws, some people would be disappointed because that's how much he's been built up. And also 75% of their production returns on defense. That all sounds good. This should not be a dark horse team, but they will be. Some people have it in their minds that James Franklin can't get over the hump, whatever the hump is, immunity. And likewise, they think that Penn State, oh, that's a fancy graphic there, Colin. There was 2 of me all of a sudden. A lot of people think Penn State just can't. Of course, on this show, our old adage is there's a difference between have not and cannot. And I do not think that Penn State's playoff hopes fall into the cannot category. I just think they have not. But it would shock people, some, if they made the playoff. It would shock people if Kansas State made the playoff. Everyone is going to, not everyone, I don't want to paint with a broad brush, some out there, the more casual amongst us, will have that one-hit wonder stamp, and they'll try and plaster it on the forehead of that program, and their entire offensive line comes back. That was already a top 15 rushing outfit this year. Will Howard gets the offense to himself at quarterback this year. Their schedule sets up nicely. They are currently the 4th odds-on favorite to win a title out of the Big 12 teams. And Texas is number 1 there. They are every year. I think Vegas has the same model that we have internally. It gets plastered on Texas every single year. Let's keep an eye on Kansas State. I mean, we need look back no further than last year. Kansas State beat the team from the Big 12 that made the title game. So, yeah, that would shock people, certainly. But they've got a really good system out there, and they're going to have some really good players in that really good system this year. So especially if they build up some steam, which I think they will, watch out for them. And also Miami. This would shock people. I need to stop bumping the table here. The mic goes crazy. 5 of their top 6 pass rushers return. I think they had a top 20 pass rushing unit this year. There was a lot of bad for Miami. None of this is likely. I'm just saying there are some technical possibilities here that would shock you. Maybe that new offensive coordinator is exactly what they need there. Maybe him being paired with Tyler Van Dyke, exactly what they need. Who knows? Maybe they dip in the portal a time or two after spring and get some really key pieces. It's year 2 under a new coaching staff, so that's always a big deal. So, yeah, I think it would shock the world if Miami or Kansas State or Penn State or A&M made the playoff. I think that would be pretty shocking. It should not shock you at all if Penn State makes it. But the rest of them, yeah, I could see the shock factor to varying degrees. Again, this has not been a prediction segment, merely a commentary on where the sport sits in March of the year of our Lord 2023.
Guys, thanks for watching Late Kick. Make sure and leave a comment. I love interacting with you. But most of all, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's how we keep all of this free.